Yeah, I mean, great game. Wilmington's good. I mean, Takai's done a really good job. I'm looking at the stat sheet. We guarded, we rebounded, we shot 51%, and we hung on for dear life. And we did a great job on Jalen Sims, and they're good. They spread you out. They force you to play choppy on offense. We're lucky to get out of there today. Thought we had them on the ropes, and then they fought back. Thank God for Zane and Charlie Thompson. That's for sure.
Coach, how big was it to be able to, start this conference season off with a sweep over such a good team?
Yeah, I mean it's hard to do because of what you said. They're a good program. They're very well coached. Obviously, Kai was there with Kevin Keats, who they were dominant in the league, and it's a great tradition-rich program. So like I said, we hung on both games. Like I said, thought we would have had a shot to pull away today, but they are resilient.
Pat, what was the difference in the second half? Was it offense, defense, something else?
I mean, our numbers are really good, right? 51%. We still got to take care of the ball better, but they some of that's a credit to Wilmington because of their quickness and the way they switch everything. It's hard to prepare for that. But I mean, I'm looking at like 35% field goal D, plus 15 on the glass, 51 from the floor. Normally that's like a 20-point win, but they're a hard team to play against. They get to the foul line, they spread you out. They make you earn everything. But I thought second half we had a good run around the rim again. Solo and Charles, and then Big Vic gave us a boost. He fought foul trouble with the basket, and Demetrius Mims had a great dunk. So I thought some of our play around the rim was really good. And Zane was Zane. That's why we're happy to have him back, right? Every time we needed a big bucket, he delivered, right? Look at that stat line. I mean, 24 points on 15 shots and 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 turnover. That's not coaching. That's called good players. They make coaches.
Now, Coach, this makes 2 days in a row where you guys were able to kind of get a stop at the end of the game where they had opportunities to tie it. I heard from all the way up here you were calling the play out from the bench that he was going to keep on that handoff. Can you just talk about kind of what went in to you guys yesterday and today being able to close the game out with stops?
Well, I think both Brandon McDonald did a good job with the scout. And Pat O'Connell does a good job with our defense. So Pat suggested that we change the matchup. We're switching everything at that time to so that we could keep Charles on number 14. And then we had seen in one of their early games, I can't remember if it was Campbell. I think it was Campbell that they ran that play where they fake handoff. The kid Pridgeton, who we tried to recruit, number 14, is really tough at driving the ball. So Charles did an excellent job of just staying vertical. How about Charles? I mean, like you guys are here. Charles is 7 for 8 for the foul line, and he was the only guy in the gym after the game yesterday working on his foul shots because he missed a couple. So it's no coincidence the way those things kind of work out.
Pat, to begin the second half, I think you guys went on maybe like an 18-4 run, a run that was punctuated by Demetrius's dunk. How much do you think that energized the team?
Yeah, a lot. I thought we were a little bit lifeless. I'm still, we haven't been together much. I'm still trying to figure out how to get this team to have that type of killer instinct all the time. We're quickly, I think, trying to put roles and together and energy and chemistry and through pauses and injuries and everything else. So, but hopefully this gives us a little life, and we can kind of build off it. I just told our guys I'm proud of them. Played well against a good program, and let's continue to get better, and let's continue to test negative so that we can potentially get better.
Now, Coach, obviously there was that one stretch where you guys, there was the technical foul. They had 6 straight free throws.
Eight free throws after they called the other foul. 8, yeah.
Free throws. Only like I think 9 seconds came off of the clock. What was going through your head during that time, and kind of what were you telling your team when you saw the lead just kind of dwindle like that without any time really coming off the clock?
I didn't see what happened, so obviously we can't, if we did kick a guy or something, we can't do that. Whether or not a foul should have been called earlier, we can't do that. And then when 8 points came off, we were up 13, I think 8 point came off. I was wondering if the feds were going to get called in for point shaving or something like that. So next thing you know, it's a 2-possession game against Wilmington. They ran a good play, and Gatson stuck a 3, and now it's like, oh my goodness, we're hanging on for dear life.
These past 2 games, Zane has looked like he's really, kind of getting back to his old self. Obviously tonight, 9 for 15. Yesterday, he had 21 points. Talk about how he's kind of getting back into his rhythm. And obviously you coached him that sophomore year when he averaged basically 20 points a game. Are there any similarities? What's the same? What's different in his play now than it was back then?
I just told him after his defense is still the same. It's spotty at times. He's a little older, so maybe a little slower, but he's got a high IQ. He can score it, pass it, he gets fouled, he scores at all 3 levels. I told you, he reminds me a lot of James Harden. Obviously, I'm not saying he's as good as James Harden, but he is a tough guy to guard one-on-one. And I think to really win, when you really study this league, you need guys that can bail you out. And he certainly can bail you out with just making great individual plays.
Coach, what did you see from UNCW that, kind of gave you an outlook on what this team might be like headed forward and, the rest of conference play?
Well, they're certainly good enough to win our league. There's no question about that. I thought that I'm really impressed with Coach Siddle. I was when he was an assistant, and I've been friends with Kevin Keats for about 20 years back when he was at Marshall and I was at William & Mary as assistant. So I'm not surprised. It was obviously a great hire by Jimmy Bass. They're good. I thought on tape they look really connected. I'm impressed with the bodies. They've changed the bodies of like a guy like Sims and Boggs. His upside is incredibly high, and then, like I said, we recruited Shaquem Phillips, so he's only going to help them when he gtes back. And they play a hard style to play against, right? That's why both these games, I think both teams have a chance to be good teams. It's a little bit, it's different styles. There's a lot of pull and tug, and it makes for a hard-fought game, but it's maybe not as, like my AD called me this morning and said, boy, that was an ugly game yesterday. I'm like, well, depends on how you look at it,
Now, Coach, man, obviously, when we interviewed you early in the year, we kind of talked about the CAA schedule and these back-to-backs. It's going to be very hard to kind of win 2 games in a row against any team in Division I. So what do you think it says about your team that you guys were able to pick up these 2 wins against a very good UNC Wilmington team?
Yeah, I mean, proud of the guys for fighting hard, and for maybe some guys wasn't their night. They still brought energy and helped their teammates. And then there was some good fortune involved. To beat a good program like that, it comes down to 1 or 2 possessions. We were fortunate today. We're going to need good fortune to have success. There's no doubt about it.
You guys are going up to Hofstra this weekend. Obviously, they were picked to win the league. They won the league last year. What are you guys going to have to sharpen up as far as, obviously it's a little bit of a different team. Obviously, UNC Wilmington is a little smaller. But what are you guys looking forward to with that matchup this weekend?
Well, I mean, we have 100 things we have to sharpen up, so we'll try to get better at a couple of them. And Hofstra's really good. They're picked to win the league. Another explosive offensive team. We're going to need to, first thing is be better with the basketball moving forward, and we've got to be crisper on offense so that I think we can impose our defensive and rebounding will on the game.
The team, you guys scored 46 points in that half, which is the most this season in a half. What was the key to you guys offensively?
Just moving the ball, just like yesterday, taking advantage of the mismatches. And when you got the mismatch, just finding the right guy, finding an open guy, and making the right play.
Yesterday you said you wanted to focus on taking better shots today. Obviously today you were able to shoot 9 for 15 from the floor. What felt different between yesterday and today, and how were you kind of able to get going a little better today?
Just finding my rhythm, playing more, getting back used to, playing. It's hard, like I said, with the whole COVID thing, working out for a certain amount of time and then stopping and then having to get back in your rhythm. So I think the more I play, the more I'm going to find my rhythm,
I mean, now you mentioned kind of getting back in the rhythm. These last 2 games, obviously today and yesterday, it seems like you're really kind of getting back to that old self. Does it feel like, what's the difference between, I guess, now and, your sophomore year when you were putting up, basically around 28 games then?
I would say this team here, we got a bunch of guys that could, put the ball in the hole, and we got a bunch of guys, that can make that open 3. I know we haven't showed it earlier in the season, but, the more we start playing together and, playing alongside each other, the better we'll get. And, this team that I'm playing with now, everybody just wants to, get better every day. I feel like every day we come into practice or workout, it's taken serious, and everybody just wants to get better.
Zane, how much did it help the fact that you played this team yesterday in terms of preparing for today?
I mean, I guess I'll say it was easier, because we knew what to expect. But we knew that they was going to give us their best shot, being as though we beat them yesterday, and we just wanted to come out and, perform and execute like Coach wanted.
Defensively, Jalen Samuels, I think, only had maybe 6 or 8 points. What did you guys do against him today? Because yesterday he had 19, I think.
Yeah, we really didn't do anything yesterday. Different than yesterday. Everyone just guarded a man up. He's good at drawing a lot of fouls. He's a good player, and I think we stayed solid and we just stayed hungry. We just didn't want to get beat. That's all that was.
Now, Zane, most people would obviously think about you when they first hear your name. They're gonna think, a score. Obviously, you had 21 yesterday and 24 today, but you had 5 assists today also, and you probably could have had a lot more, just based on guys missing a couple shots that were open. But talk about your playmaking ability and kind of, I guess, that being a kind of underrated part of your game.
Yeah, I always been a playmaker. In high school I played around a nice talented group. So I just always like, seeing one of my teammates get motivated and get confidence. That's all I try to do is just build my team's confidence, because we're going to need everybody, to be at the same level-headed space when it's time to, play in the playoffs and the tournament.
Now, there was a point in the game where you guys went from down 4 to being up 10. It was like a 16-point turnaround or something of that sort. I mean, you were on the bench, I believe, when Demetrius got that big dunk. I see you jump on the ground over there on the bench. I mean, what changed for you guys during that point in time? And, what was it like for you, kind of watching as that run transpired and Demetrius, got that big dunk?
Oh, man, it was big, to watch the guys, come up off the bench, 7th, 8th men. That's what they're there for. We need everybody. It's going to take everybody, to win each and every game. It's not just going to be me. It's not just going to be Gibby. We're going to need the whole team, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that showed that we got, we're deep,
What kind of changed for you guys? It seems like you guys were forcing turnovers, getting out in transition. What do you think was the difference between those first about 35 minutes of the game and then that 5-minute mark where you guys kind of really stretched the lead out?
We just picked up our intensity. Our talk improved. It started with the bench as well. Guys was sitting out. We just hear them talking to us, and we just fed off that energy. That's all that was. You got to create your own energy nowadays without no fans. So that's all that was.
Charles, yesterday after the game, you told us, that it was extremely important that you guys, kind of got on the right side of the win column. You guys were able to come out and get 2 wins versus a really good team. I mean, what does this mean? What does this win mean for your team, going forward to be able to sweep, a good team in UNC Wilmington?
Not looking too far ahead. The coach told us before the game, if we lose, we're in 8th. If we win, we're in 3rd. So now this really gets us started in the CAA race. So this win means a lot for us as we go down to play Hofstra this weekend.
Charles, you were 7 for 8 from the free throw line today, and we saw you after your interview yesterday getting up shots. Kind of talk about just what's going through your mind, man, when you step up to the line and during the game.
Well, I just wanted to make sure I slowed myself down because I feel like I missed a lot of free throws yesterday because I was going a little bit too fast. I wasn't breathing. I wasn't calm. But today I changed up a little bit. I make sure I use all of my 10 seconds on the free throw line and, just make some more free throws.
Charles, Pat said earlier that he's been looking for you guys to sort of be energetic, and he thought Demetrius' dunk in the second half really played a role in that. Can I ask, how much did that dunk energize you guys?
Demetrius' dunk, I feel like propelled us over the top right there. I mean, I've never seen the whole bench, even Juan, who's, down with Achilles injury. Even Juan was wheeling around on the sideline. It was just great. Everybody together. Everybody on the sideline was energized and focused and locked in, and it really boosted our momentum.
Now for you, Charles, man, this is the second game in a row, man, where you've been able to kind of put together a perfect performance. Just talk about your play this weekend and kind of your role in getting these two wins this weekend.
I feel like my role, just play hard, defend, and rebound. The points will come and go, but as long as I rebound and defend, I feel like I'll stay on the floor as long as I would like.
You mentioned earlier that you guys had to go up there and play Hofstra this weekend. Obviously, Hofstra was picked to win the league. They won the league last year. What are you guys, focusing on heading up there to play one of the better teams in the league?
Just imposing our will on them. We imposed our will on UNCW, and now we plan to just play Towson brand basketball up there. Toughness, physicality, and rebounding.
We hear this phrase "impose your will" a lot with you guys. I mean, from the players to the coaches. I mean, what does that mean? You know, if you could define "impose your will," what would that mean to you?
When I can give you an example. When somebody checks into the game, literally nothing changes. Like the same physicality the last guy brought, the next guy is going to bring it on defense and his toughness. And you should be, every time out, you should be tired and gassed when you're in the media after playing us.
Obviously for you, man, as a foil on this team, you know, I mentioned this to Coach, to Zane. I mean, Zane's obviously known as a scorer, you know, but today he had, I think 6 assists or 5 assists today, man. And I mean, I think he does a great job of kind of getting downhill and getting you guys the ball for layers and things like that. Can I talk about kind of just what he brings to the table, just from a passing perspective, when it comes to getting other guys involved?
Zane's a much better passer in practice, actually. Zane he sees the floor so well, and it's like Jason sees the floor well too. Like they both just play off each other really well because they can both shoot it, they can drive it, and they make smart decisions. And I feel like his passing manipulation of the tag man on ball screens is impeccable because he makes the tag man on every ball screen do what he wants him to do, and he can either get a shot or dump it off, or he'll drive 2 and take 2, and he'll pass it out for the 3. And it's really remarkable how far he's come as a player.
Charles, in that second half, the offense shot 60% and scored 46 points. Both of them are season highs. What was the difference in that second half for the offense?
More energy. We said yesterday it was a close game. We were 1 for 14 3-point line. Now I'm not sure where we were from the 3-point line today, but I know it was better at least. So we just came out with more energy, better execution. We were familiar with their defensive scheme. It was switch everything, no matter if it was ball screen, handoff, back screen. They were switching everything. And so now that we kind of got used to that yesterday, we came in today with the mindset of, okay, here's what we have to do. We had a more, I wouldn't say realistic, but we had a better game plan. There it is.
I mean, what does it mean for you guys to, you know, 2 days in a row, you guys had to get a stop to win? You know, back-to-back days. Yesterday, you guys were able to get 3 stops with the game on line. Today, you guys were able to get a stop there with that fake handoff there. What does that just mean for the confidence of your team kind of on that end of the ball?
Well, that's Towson brand basketball: defense, rebounding, and toughness. If we have to get a stop, if we have to get 3 stops in a row to win a game, then that's what we're going to be able to do every time out there. The CAA is going to be a dogfight from where we're positioned right now, and I feel like that will propel us over the top.